Hey guys, it's Izzy and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be just kind of talking to you about something really exciting that happened last week. So on Monday the 12th of October I actually passed my driving test. I hadn't vlogged the day of my driving test, so I wasn't really going to mention it. However, I thought it might be quite interesting for some of you guys because it doesn't necessarily follow the whole procedure of like an able-bodied driver having a disability driving test. So yeah, we're gonna just basically go over it. So first thing I'm gonna just say, if you don't know that I can drive, if you don't know how my car works, anything like that, I'm gonna leave some videos in the I button up there. They basically show how I've got my car and then all the different adaptations I've got on it. I know loads of you are desperate to see me driving. I wanted to wait until I'd actually passed to film a video of me driving, just like for safety reasons really. So that should be going up within the next few weeks. So yeah, so I'm basically just going to quickly talk about the learning process, obviously what happened on test day, and then how I've been getting on since, because when I'm filming this it's been around 5 days since. So yeah, I got my car in July of 2020 and since then have been learning. I was doing 2-hour lessons once a week with my amazing driving instructor. So if you're watching this, hi Jenny. But yeah, I've been doing 2-hour lessons a week. I found that 2-hour lessons rather than 1-hour lessons, well, I never did 1-hour lessons, but I know that's something that quite a few people do. For me, I just found that with a 2-hour lesson you could fit more in. And yeah, you just really had more time to practice your driving whilst you were out and going. In between my lessons, as I do actually have my own car, I was going out and practicing all the things that I'd actually been taught by my instructor with my mum or my dad. Only a few times a week at the start, but obviously as it got nearer to test date, I was practicing like multiple times a week and stuff like that, just to make sure that I was really confident and like things like my manoeuvres were acceptable. So that's in brief me learning how to drive. Now we're going to go on to test date. So obviously coronavirus absolutely messed up test dates, which is why if you've heard me ever say I could have been passed a month ago, that's why. Obviously there were no driving tests going on during the peak of corona. So a lot of people's driving tests were delayed. So this basically meant that some people couldn't book in when they wanted to book in, so there was a massive backlog and queue. And the same for my theory. Now in the UK you have to have a driver's theory done, which is basically a test to check how well you know like the highway code and then also how good you are at spotting hazards. So I had to do those two and I did them, I think that was the 1st of September when I passed my theory. But that had been rescheduled from April. So yeah, I got my theory done and passed that, and then I was able to book a driver's test pretty soon after that. Now for the practical driving test, when you actually have a disability, you obviously have to disclose your disability. So I kind of had to do that. And then you have to state, then you actually get given disability slots that you book into. Now I was like, why is that? Basically with a disability slot you actually get longer in the test. This means that they have time to ask you about all your adaptations, how you learn to drive, assess things like that. And yeah, so it basically just meant I had a longer test slot, but I didn't have to drive for longer. Sorry if the lighting's changed, the sun's just gone in. I'm filming with natural light, as you can see the ring lights there. So on actual test day, I booked in a driving lesson before, so I kind of had an hour with my instructor. We just went and did a little bit of basic driving practice really, and then we also went and practiced my manoeuvres just to ensure that I was really confident with what I was doing and just kind of calm me down and reassure me that I could drive. Then we went to the test centre, which is pretty local to me, so we just kind of went there. We had to park up and then the examiner came over, and for the first like 5 or 10 minutes we basically just had a chat. She wanted to know sort of how everything worked, how I was going to be driving, literally everything. So I kind of explained all my adaptations to her, as I've done to you guys in the past. Explained how I did everything and stuff like that. Luckily she was really nice and chatty, so that kind of made me feel much more calm and confident knowing that she seemed really nice. So then I had to go out and do my driving test. Now, you obviously have to check you can read a number plate first from like a certain distance away. I can do that, I have really good vision. So I did that, and then the driving test. Now, if you're not familiar with the UK driving test, you're driving between 35 and 40 minutes. If you're driving for any less than that, then you've failed. They've changed it with Corona, so obviously you're not in the car with the examiner for any longer than you need to be. So if you fail, you get taken back to the test centre. So yeah, the aim is to be driving for between 35 and 40 minutes. And obviously, I'm sure you can tell from the title of my Instagram, I was. So the first like 15-20 minutes of your driving is like independent. So you either have to be following a sat nav or following road signs. I got a sat nav, which I was quite happy about, because I mean, I just never follow road signs. I would always just have my sat nav on, as my car has one in it. So yeah, we followed the sat nav around for a little bit, and during this time I had my manoeuvre. There's 4 manoeuvres that you can be given. I got the forwards bay park, which is really simple. So I just kind of had to show her that I'd done that. And then we carried on driving. After my 15-20 minutes using the sat nav was over, she then took over and just kind of told me where to go. Throughout the test, I had to show that I could pull up to the left and then move on safely, which is really easy for me. Obviously, I drive an automatic, so I don't have any problems with stalling or anything like that. And then eventually we just started making our way back to the test centre, where she then told me, congrats, you have passed. So that's basically my test. Now, fun story. Me and my mum went out on the Saturday. My test was on Monday. And I kind of came up with my head with this route that we should plan and follow, with particular roads I thought would be quite useful to go over and things like that. And it turned out that on my actual test, the route we did was almost identical to the route that me and my mum had done a few days before. So that was amazing. So yeah, I did pass my driver test first time. Now, if you're familiar with how it works, obviously you get a serious fault, you failed. You're allowed up to 15 minor faults, just for little things that wouldn't cause a crash, wouldn't cause a collision, but you probably shouldn't do. I actually got 1 minor fault in my test. It was for like observations or something. So I think that's pretty good, passing first time with only 1 minor. Yeah, I was really proud of myself. I was really happy. I knew that I could do it when I was going into the test, so I was quite confident. However, obviously on the day you don't know what the other cars are going to do around you, and a lot of the time it might be another car's actions that cause you to like crash. Well, not even crash, just to do something wrong, to make a wrong judgment in your test. So I was quite lucky that nothing too horrendous happened. So obviously, as I have my own car and I've been practicing in my own car, and it's a Motability car, I was basically able to drive it myself straight away. I ran my insurance when I got home and was like, hey, I passed. So they could obviously change the records, and then I rang the taxi company that do my school run and was like, do not come ever again, because I don't need them anymore, which was so exciting to be able to do. Them taxis were so unreliable for so long, so I was so grateful to just be able to be like, don't come to my house ever again, because I can drive to school now. Yeah, that was basically it. I drove to school the next day, went out with my friends the next day, kind of drove into town. Honestly, I've driven so much since passing, and that's something I really wanted to do. I didn't want to like chicken out of using certain roads or go in certain places. I really just wanted to use the fact that I had a car and the independence of being able to drive it to the fullest. So there was me driving like literally the next day. I've driven to the gym, driven to town. Me and my friends went to Costa in a free at school. So yeah, it's just dead good being able to drive. I'm really excited by it. I already am seeing the bonuses and the pros that I knew I was going to, with like the independence that it's given me, just being able to go places myself. Still obviously being so cautious driving, but I know you guys really want to see like actually how I control all the controls together, because it does seem quite overwhelming when you explain it to someone that I kind of can multitask them all together. So we'll be doing that at some point. But if you have any other car videos that you'd like to see me doing, I know me and my friends are going to do like carpool karaoke sort of things, so let me know if there's anything else that you would like us to do. I'm sure my friends would be up for it. or like my brother's, literally anything you want me to do that I need a car for, I can now do. So yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments if there's any specific videos that you'd like to see, either about my car or just me using my car. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to give it a like, a comment, and also please subscribe. We need petrol money. I'm joking. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.